everyone, welcome back to my channel, the place for anyone who's been dreaming of writing a book. Today's topic is my Christmas gift to you. It's how to find a great editor. Now, I know what you may be thinking. Say what? Finding a great editor? No, I want to hear more about writing tips, mindset, and how I can prevent writer and creative burnout. You have to remember that in order for your book to be published, it needs to go through an amazing editor. Now, if you got a book deal, that is frigging amazing. I'm so proud of you. Then your publishing company most likely has a bevy of editors to choose from. But if you're self-publishing, then this video is going to be the jam on top of your buttered toast. Editing is an important part of the writing process. And I'm not talking about self-editing. Please, 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 please stop self-editing. The whole point of the writing process in the beginning is to do a full-on brain dump onto the paper to get your story out. That's your first draft. Then the second draft is you collecting all those pieces together and trying to make sense of it. After that is when your editor comes in. Your editor is the person, the support beam, the buttress that will give your writing its beauty, clean out all the weeds in your garden. You can present it to the world on a silver platter. If you don't have a great editor behind you, it's like presenting a book. It's like presenting a book that's done by an elementary school kid. I'm not saying it won't tug at your heartstrings, especially if you're a parent, but it just doesn't look professional, in my opinion. So what do you need to look out for in an editor? The first thing is the type of editor that you're looking for. Decide what sort of editing you need help with. Say what? I thought editing was just editing. No, unfortunately not. There are lots of different types of editors out there, and it depends on how deep you want them to go. Top tier editors are generally developmental editors. These editors are kind of like the writing coaches of the editing world. They help the writer to maintain the tone, the structure. They do big picture stuff, so they want to make sure that you're writing for the right audience. They also help to cheer the writer on, because when you're in the depths of your story, be it if it's nonfiction or fiction, you're staring into the great abyss. So these editors will help pull you out of that hole so you can continue and finish your book. The middle tier are usually for the copy or line editors. And sometimes people include these editors with content editors as well. And content editors basically look over your book for any sort of plot holes to make sure the content is engaging. And copy and line editors kind of do the same. And they focus on the tiny details more on a micro scale that make up your fiction or nonfiction work. And they also focus on the flow, the grammar, the structure of the book. Now, proofreaders, it's kind of obvious what they do. They're generally like bottom tier. They look for consistency, like in the formatting, in the layout, in the story. And they make sure there aren't any embarrassing typos, because I still can't believe it when I come across a book that's been professionally published by a traditional publishing house and there's so many typos in it. Like, what the hell? They're the final line. Think of like the proofreaders as the final line of defense, again, before getting your work published. And then lastly, and I mean, like, sometimes people don't use them, but it's always good to, beta readers. Now, beta readers are the people, they have zero editing experience at all. They are not editors, but they're just a fresh pair of eyes to make sure that everything is in place for your book and to make sure that everything is just there, it looks right. Now, pricing. Ooh, beyond looking at what sort of editing your editor has done, please look for a professional editor. Not one that you found on Fiverr. I mean, Upwork sometimes has some good ones, but generally people there always go for the lowest price. And it's kind of sad to see that because editing takes a lot of work. Like, a lot. Especially if you're looking for a developmental editor. I'm going to give you some, like, average pricing, and this is something you can actually measure other editors against. So, say you have an 80,000 word book, and you're looking for a developmental editor. Now, these people, because they're top tier, they will be more expensive. And it's also because they have to do a lot of the heavy lifting. Okay, maybe this will be better because like it's just tickling my nose too much. So generally they charge around 8 cents a word, and for an $80,000 word book, that will cost about $6,400. Now, copy or line editors would generally charge between like 0.015 to 0.02 cents per word. And so I took an average of about 0.018, and that would be about $1,440. And proofreaders would generally charge, they're much lower, so proofreaders would generally charge between 0.0113 cents per word. So that would be about $904. And beta readers, if you have some amazing friends who support you as a writer, please find them and then maybe take them out for a really nice dinner. There isn't really a price range for that because they're not technically editors. They're just people who are fresh eyes that can like check out whether or not your book actually makes sense. But that's my suggestion. Take them out for a really nice dinner and then buy them a really nice birthday and Christmas gift. Now, if any of those prices are a bit gulp-inducing for you, let me just tell you that if you're writing a book, this is part of the process. It's an investment to make sure that you put out your best work. If you're not planning on including the editing as part of the writing process, then why are you writing a book if you're not going to put your best foot forward? Think about that. Pricing will also depend on different factors like time, experience, complexity. If you're short on time and you need something done in 2 weeks, and that's like an 80,000 word book, then you will be at the mercy of your editor. And because they can charge you through the nose for that. And of course, if your editor has experience in producing bestsellers, you'll also be paying top dollar. And lastly, if you're writing a textbook, again, the price will be higher because of the footnotes and endnotes that go into the book. So something else to look out for is their test run and or their style. Personally, I like to work with editors who I get along with really well. My writing already has life to it, but I want it to be like, super suave, you know? And really bring readers into the story. And the best way to do this is to ask the editor for a test run. Send them a couple chapters for them to do a test run. If you ask for this and the editor flat out says no, you're gonna have to look for someone else. Unless they're super well known for authors to go in like completely blind. But for the most part, all editors will agree to this. So remember to ask for a test run. Now, in the end, the writer is meant to have the big picture. They're meant to have the grand scheme. They're the ones who need to get that idea onto paper. The editor is there to help you clean it up, to make it cohesive and not make it look like Dr. Frankenstein's monster. If you're feeling anxious about getting started on your book, check out my video right here. And take a look at this video for tips on writing your book outline.
So have a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwezi Kwanzaa, a tip-top tet, and a solemn, dignified Ramadan.